FM's whole ethos was the greatest advance that we can make is in our attitude and our values, what we value. I mean, that was what he felt was the biggest leap we can take. And quite frankly, in order for us to fulfill the other quote unquote promises of his vision, he felt like we needed to have a attitude facelift or a value facelift. And I think, especially given where we are right now with coronavirus, etc., I think we definitely are in need of a shift, whether that's a transhuman shift, a value shift, a human shift, I don't know. But
the biggest leap we can make right now is non-technological, it's non-scientific. And I'll give you an example, two examples, one at the level of the coronavirus you just gave me, but also at the human level. So why do I make the silly claim that the biggest leap is not scientific? Someone would say, are you crazy? We need a vaccine and everything will be solved. No, everything will be solved in Scandinavia. Everything will be solved in Canada because everyone would get the shot for free and there's not going to be 18 different implementations of that scientific solution. You know, if you have, even today you have the scientific solution with 52 states, with I don't know however many providers you guys have, with the fact that is it going to be free? But is it not going to be free? But who is going to pay for it? Is it the state? Is it the government? But is that socialism if the government pays for it? But the point is, even if you have the scientific solution today in the United States, look at the mess that you guys are in. Do you think it's going to be implemented and be solved so easily? I don't think so. Because I think the biggest shift you guys need to make, and that's true for the rest of the world, for us too, in most other senses, maybe not in this particular example, but the biggest shift with respect to our future globally is not a technological and it's not a scientific shift, because we already live in the context where our technological and scientific prowess is growing exponentially. But our intellectual, emotional, wisdom growth is lagging, not only because it's moving linearly, but it's maybe not moving at all or very slowly. So when you have an exponential technological and scientific growth and a sort of an ethical, moral, compassionate wisdom growth index very slowly keeping up, then you have the gap growing and growing and growing and growing. And so all the problems that we face today, the humanity is facing today, whether global warming, whether pandemics, whether soil erosion, whether ocean acidification, whether species extinction, are the same thing over and over again, playing itself in a different realm. And that's our technological and scientific capacity way outpacing our intellectual and moral ability to control it and to apply it wisely. And to the degree that we are threatened today, the biggest danger to our own life, not only to all life on our planet, is our own self. So the biggest shift we need to do today is not technological and it's not a scientific one. And that's another issue I have with transhumanism, is that idea is like, oh, let's have cryonics, let's have mind uploading, let's have AI, let's have more powerful technology that we've ever had and we'll be okay and we'll solve all of our problems. Bullshit, okay? Bullshit. Why? Because the problems we have today are not necessarily problems of science and technology. The biggest problems that we have today are a result of our other issues. And unless we solve those other issues, or at least catch up a little bit on our wisdom, we are only going to make matters worse by giving us even more powerful tools and bats to smash each other on our heads with and to pelt the world with. And so we need a big shift. Yes, I agree 100% with you, but that's not a technological and scientific.
Oh, that's the shift. What you've just articulated is the shift that was the thing that spoke to me most about FM. It was a shift of attitude, a shift of values. It's funny because Steve Fuller said, like, you know, FM, you know, presented these things that transhumanists present, but he presented it with in a certain time frame. That first we would have universalism. We don't talk about borders. We don't talk about you're Russian, I'm Jewish. We don't. abundance, which would obviously come into play with some scientific progress. This sort of idea of optimism, not an optimism where the glass is half full, but an optimism where we felt we could improve and we rallied to make something happen. And then, and only then, would we then have, you know, the last thing on his list was immortality. But, you know, like Steve Fuller said, like he, you know, FM hoped that it would happen, you know, in this way. Now things are happening, you know, in different sequences. And like you just described, that kind of is a scary proposition when we haven't made the shift and we're suddenly given toys, you know, or scientific technologies that we, you know, aren't, we're equipped to use by pressing a button, but we're not equipped to use in terms of, yeah. And to me, that's one of the scariest things in terms of our world going forward.
We need to shift from the how to the why and the what, and the how only comes later, only comes at that point. And if you start with the how, you would likely do more damage than good, because you don't know your why and you don't know your what. And then you end up with the warning of Yuval Noah Harari, the way he finishes his first book, Sapiens, and he says, is there anything more dangerous than dissatisfied and irresponsible gods who don't know what they want?
Yes, gods who actually don't know. That we have a lot of we have a lot of.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, we have a lot of aspiring gods today.
And the transhumanism is promising each and every one to become a god, to become immortal, to become omnipotent, to become omnipresent. You know, uploaded, augmented super being that would outlast our planet and the sun and all of that. You know, but do we even know why we want to do that? Do we even know what to do with that? And what good is immortality if you never ask what good is immortality? And if you never ask the idea why and what for and what am I going to do? And those are questions that are equally valuable only if you have 8 years, by the way, but most people never ask them.